tell, then you see the road. I'm out to my soul into the size whenever the smoke clear out of my face and my picture perfect. Do it. All of that green together, the truth, yeah. Tell you the
Hello and welcome back, fellow anime lovers, to Cypherfics. I am delighted to have you join us once again in the world of fanfiction and fantasy. This is the second part of, What If dannyphantom Meets Mario? Special note, this fanfic is written and a masterpiece of Phantom Fan 21 on FANFICTIONnet. Do check and support the author too. Now smash the like, share and subscribe button for more. Also press the bell icon so that you never miss such great parts. Thanks for the introduction. Now let's dive into the world. Everyone looks up to see the same airship as before hovering over the town. Kamek steps out and looks down at the town. People of Amity Park, dannyphantom, and Princess Bowsette fight has come to an end. The two made a deal with each other. Should the princess win, dannyphantom would bow down and admit she was better. Should dannyphantom win, the princess was to leave your town alone. The end results of their fight was a tie. Kamek said and saw people whispering to each other. However, there was another deal the two made between them and it is taking effect right now. Dannyphantom is staying at the castle for a whole week. Kamek added in case a quick spell. He was surprised to see that 99% of the town was happy he was gone, while the 1% wasn't. He couldn't believe it. This town really doesn't care about him. Fools. You can't hide the truth from me. The princess knows very well that dannyphantom is a hero. And I see just about every single one of you are happy to hear he is gone. The deal was made for a reason. I now bring you a message from dannyphantom himself. Kamek said and pull out the note. To the people of Amity Park. I left the town in means of keeping you all safe, but during my fight with Princess Bowsette she brought up a point I cannot ignore. Try as I might, you never saw me as a hero. You believe I was evil without looking at the facts. I didn't kidnap the mayor. A ghost that I knew overshadowed the mayor and was trying to make me become a prisoner in my own home. I have done what I could to show you that I'm a hero but you all just kept blaming me. So there is a reason I agree to stay here in Princess Bowsette's castle. I'll let the ghost hunters protect the town. The Red Huntress, the Fentons, and even the guys in white can watch over the town and catch ghosts. If they do a better job, then I won't be needed anymore. It hurts to write that but I think it's the best way to get you to understand that I'm not evil, I'm not trying to trick any of you, and I really do care about the town. If you are happy that I'm gone, then you got your wish. I won't be around to attack the town. I hope you enjoy it and I'll see you next week. Sigh dannyphantom. Kamek put the note away and could hear the town cheering. He sighs and nods at the guards. They nodded back and the airship lowered to the ground. A ramp appears and a door up before Tucker and Sam was lead down. These had sneak aboard and the princess had ordered us to return them. Would the parents of these two please step up? A guard said. Tucker and Sam saw their parents and thanked the guards. Kamek then looked at the town. Remember 1 week. If you enjoy the fact he is gone, then enjoy it while you can. I want Jack and Maddie Fenton to step forward. He said. Jack and Maddie did and Kamek could see that these were Danny's parents. I have a note from your son. It for your eyes only. Kamek said and toss it down to them. Maddie caught it and looks at Jack who shrugs. They turn back before seeing Kamek take a breath. I can see the town true colors. All because you believe one thing, all ghosts are evil. The princess come here because she wanted to take over the town, after what I witness, she might not attack the town to rule it next time. He said before turning about and order the airship to be taken back to the castle. Everyone watched before some people started to talk about how they didn't have to worry about ghost attacks because dannyphantom was no longer there. The fans, on the other hand, were very sad to see their hero being gone for a week. Jack and Maddie return home and open the letter. They read it and become shocked by what it said. Dear Mom and Dad. I'm sorry for making you worry about me but I need to come clean about something. There's no easy way to say it, so I just going to say it. I'm Dannyphantom. I know it might be hard to believe, but it's the truth. I have been fighting and protecting the town for a long time now. Sadly, it has taken a toll on me. My grades suffered, I having lack of sleep, and always on the lookout for more ghosts. If you're wondering why I never told you, it's because of the things you say about ghosts and what you would do to them. Those things don't make it easy to walk up to you and say, "Hey mom and dad, how are you doing today? Oh, and by the way, I became half ghost when your portal zaps me. Yeah, I was afraid that I won't see me as your son but as another ghost you want to destroy." There are only 3 people that knew I was half ghost, my best friends Tucker and Sam, and Jazz, who found out on her own and waited until I told her because it was my secret. So please don't be mad at her. I asked Jazz not to tell you because I want to work up the courage to tell you myself. I won't be back home until next week. So please don't try anything. I'm being treated as a guest in the castle, so I'm not hurt. I'm sorry I kept this from you, but I had my reasons. We can talk when I come home next week. Just please, don't tell anyone. Your son, Dannyphantom. Danny is the ghost boy? Jack asked. Maddie thought about it and saw what they'd been missing. All the times he came home late, the reason his grades were slipping. It was because he was making sure people were safe and they were shooting at him. She felt like a horrible mother, shooting at her own son. And they never knew because they were forcing Danny from telling them. He is Jack. Oh my God, I have been shooting at my own baby. Maddie said, horrified. Jack finally placed it together himself and knew why Danny never told them. All this time he was talking about destroying Dannyphantom, he was really talking about his son. Jack looks down feeling that he just betrays his own son. He loves his family more than ghosts and promises to be the father he could be to his kids. Instead, he talks about destroying him instead. Jazz walks down and notices her parents look like they were about to start crying. Mom? Dad? She asked. Jazz, sweetie, how long did you know Danny was the ghost boy? Maddie asked. Jazz blinks and Maddie show her the note. Jazz read it and sighs. For some time, I wasn't there when Danny got his powers, but I found out a few months after. And I didn't tell Danny how I knew until a few months after that. Mom, Dad, Danny had his reasons, and as much as he wanted to, you made it hard for him. He felt as he wasn't your son anymore. He felt as if he had no idea who he was. When I came clean about how I knew, we became close again. I always saw him as my brother, and using his powers to help others was very smart. I'm proud of him for that. Jazz answer. Jack and Maddie look away, feeling very bad about themselves. Jazz sighs and hugs them both, surprising them. Mom, Dad, just know that Danny still loves you, as I do. We might not take up in your footsteps, but we are still your kids. A ghost hunting family or not. Jazz added. We know, Princess, Jack said. Tucker sat in his room and explains why he went with Sam to the castle. He explains that he was friends with Dannyphantom while leaving out he was Dannyphantom, and that it was Sam's idea to aboard the airship. He only went along to stop her. His parents gave him a light punishment, by taking his computer and grounding him for the week. They let him keep his PDA as he was sent to his room. He wasn't long before he heard a knock on his window. He sighs and opens it as Sam climbs in. Come on, Tucker. We need to get back to the castle. Sam said. No way, Sam. I'm done with this. Tucker said, making her look at him. I had it. I am so sick and tired of your jealousy. You let one girl get close and you started acting as if you're fine with it. But the minute Danny leaves, you try to think of ways to break them up. So what if Bowsette wants him to stay for a week? It's Danny's choice. If you can't agree to that, then I see no point in trying to save him. Tucker explains. How could you say that? And I'm not jealous. Sam said. Yes, you are. I had it, Sam. I freaking had it. You don't care about anything or anyone but yourself. If you can't let Danny be happy, then you are not worthy of being his friend. Tucker told her. What? Sam said, shocked. You heard me. You always think about yourself. You never like the fact that Danny hangs out with another girl. You never like the fact that Valerie asks you, point blank to your face, if she could date Danny. And the minute they broke it off, you walk up and brag about how it was over. You completely ignore Danny's feelings. Girls turn me down because I try too hard. At least with Danny, I can understand. They got to see the same side as me and you, but no. You had to get jealous just because they are getting along or because of some rumor that may or may not be true. I'm not going to go back and save him because you're jealous. Tucker yelled. Sam took a step back. She opens her mouth to make a comeback, but she was blank. She couldn't think of anything to say. But she shook her head and glared at Tucker. We are bring Danny home and that's his final. Sam said. I can't believe you. I just told you everything why I'm not going with you and you ignore it. You want to save Danny? Fine. You can do it on your own. You have 3 minutes to get out before I call my parents. Tucker told her. Tucker. Sam growls, but he just crosses his arms. 2 minutes. He said. Tucker, listen to me. Sam said angrily. I'm done listening to you. 1 minute. Tucker said. Fine. I save him by myself. I'll make sure to tell him that you stay behind. Sam yelled before heading out the window. One last thing, Sam, Tucker said as he walks up to the window. You act way too much like your parents. He said and slams his window shut, leaving the goth shocked. All over town was talking about how Danny Phantom was no longer going to bug the town for a week. Valerie, on the other hand, couldn't believe that the ghost boy would agree to stay away from the town for a week and how he gave her his permission to watch over the town. She turns to her father, who was just as surprised as her. He wants you to protect the town? Damon asked. I know, Dad, it really is strange. And the way the note was read. It felt as if he was telling the truth. No matter how hard I try, I can't find anything that sounds like a lie or a trick. I felt he really was giving me permission. Valerie said. Damon didn't like the fact his daughter was hunting ghosts. But at the same time, he was proud that his little girl was making sure no one got hurt. Plus Danny Phantom did stop her from fighting the Ghost King. If he didn't, then he would lose his only daughter. That was a sign that Danny Phantom was as evil as people think. He sighs, since Danny Phantom wasn't going to be around to stop ghost attacks, then his daughter might be the best chance. He had nothing against the Fentons, but he just wasn't sure if they were the right people for the job. And there was no way he could trust the GIW. They only care about catching Danny Phantom. Valerie, I will allow it. But please inform me when you do and if you are going to be gone long, he said. Valerie blinks and smiles. Thanks, Dad. She said and kissed him on the cheek before running upstairs to get her ghost hunting equipment. Vlad Masters sat in his office, surprised to hear what happened. First, a princess comes and tries to take over the town. Then, Daniel accepts her challenge and leaves the town. Then he hears that Daniel agrees to stay at a princess castle for the week and told the other ghost hunters to take over for him. Vlad stood and looked out his window. There's something more to this. There is no way Daniel would leave this town to the ghost hunters without reason. He said before walking back to his desk. Ms. Kristen. Inform the staff that I'm taking a few days off. He said as he presses the button on his phone. Of course, Mayor Masters. Vlad turns and started to clean up his desk. Once he closes his suitcase and walks out and saw his office worker. He knew that she was a fan of Daniel Ghost's form and was trying her best to hide it. Ms. Kristen. You can fan over dannyphantom if you wish, but remember, don't get carrying away. He told her. Yes, Mayor Masters. She said as Vlad walks away. Once he was, she looks around and saw the coast was clear. She reaches under her desk and pull out a huge cutout of dannyphantom and started to hug and kiss it. Rachel sat in her home and sighs. Danny was going to be gone for a week. She easily places together that dannyphantom was Danny Fenton. She looks up at the ceiling wearing nothing but her BR and panties. Things wouldn't be the same without you, Danny. She said as she recalls the kiss she gave him. She licks her lips and smiles. You're cute. And no one is going to take you from me. Once you come home, you're going to date me and love me until the day we die. I can't wait for it. Rachel said. Bowsette growls as Danny looks away. After returning from their lone time, Kamek informs them how the town acting when learning that Danny was going to be gone for a week. Are those people fools? They're happy Danny is going to be gone for a week. Bowsette yelled. 99% of the town will be, Kamek said. Danny looks at the ground, feeling very heartbroken. Bowsette notices and turns back to Kamek. Report on how the town is holding up. If Danny isn't seen as a hero, then we have no reason to take notices of it. Mark it as a worthless area and unimportant to the Koopa Kingdom. She said. Yes, Princess. Kamek bows and left. Leave us. She told her guards. They bowed and left. Bowsette sighs and turns to Danny. The town really is hopeless. Just because you are gone doesn't mean things will be better. Bowsette said. Danny didn't say anything and Bowsette sighs. Danny, listen. Don't think about it. You said that it was up to them. If things are better then you don't have to help them anymore. She said. Danny still looked at the ground and Bowsette places a hand on his shoulder. Danny, what's wrong? You have been quiet since the report. Bowsette asked. How could they? Danny whispers. What? Bowsette asked. How could they? Danny shouted, making her step back. I went out of my way to help them, to protect them, and the minute they heard I'm staying here, they're happy about it. He shouted as tears form in his eyes. I'm a hero. A hero is someone that protects others. It's not my fault that my fights lead to some things being destroyed in our fights. I try to be careful, but not every ghost does. All because of bad lie about ghosts. For a time I thought the same thing until a ghost helps me. He told me that not all ghosts are evil. But the town had to believe that they are because of the attacks. I even question if I should be a hero. Danny shouted before breaking down, crying. Bowsette felt bad for Danny. She remembers that her father told her that everyone does things for a reason. Some do it for others than themselves. Danny went out of his way to protect his home and thought the town was at least grateful for it, but he just learns that almost everyone wasn't. As much as she wanted to go and burn the town down for what they did, she knew it wouldn't help him. Danny, listen to me, Bowsette said, kneeling down to him. The townspeople are fools. If they can't see what is in front of them, then they don't deserve your protection. This week will help them see that. If it doesn't, then live here. Let the town live with their mistake. She said. That might be hard for me, Danny said as the tears fell. Bowsette pulls him in a hug and lets Danny cry on her shoulder. She wasn't going to let him be alone. It doesn't matter if she was a villainess and he was a hero. She was going to be his pillar, his friend, and someone to count on until he goes home. After 10 minutes, Bowsette heard a small snore. She looks and saw that Danny must cry himself to sleep. She carefully picks him up and took him to her room. She had a guest room ready, but she decides that Danny will sleep in her bed tonight. She lay him down, before walking to her closet. She removes the bottom part of her dress and took off her arm and neck bands. She took off her heel boots and finally let her hair down. She walks back over to her bed and climbs in. She turns and places her crown on the table. She then lays down and looks at the sleeping Danny. Fools, all of them. I can't believe they prefer him to stay gone. He goes out of his way to help them and they blame him as if it was his fault. He's a hero. And they treat him like a villain. I can't believe it. It's one thing to blame me since I was trying to take over the town, but blaming him because they think he the one that starts up the attacks. Even though he been here a day, he shows me that he not what people think. I'm going to help him feel as he is a hero. She thought before pulling him into a hug and close her eyes. The sun shines through the window and onto the bed. Danny groans before sitting up. He rubs his eyes before noticing he was in a bed. But it was no original bed. It was queen size and had black blankets. How did I get here? Danny thought before feeling something next to him. He turns and saw Bowsette sleeping. It quickly became clear that he must have fallen asleep and Bowsette must have carried him to her room. He sighs and starts to get out but felt something around his waist and looks down to see Bowsette's tail. He tries to take it off, but the tail just wraps around him again. Danny sighs and looks at Bowsette. You know she looks cute when she's sleeping. Danny thought before shaking his head. Bowsette. He said lightly shaking her. Bowsette groans before yawning. She rolls around and pulls him back down before hugging him close. Danny blushes and turns again. Princess Bowsette. He said. Please, call me by my name, Bowsette said in her sleep. Danny blinks and guesses she was dreaming. Bowsette, Danny started to stay before he was pulled into a kiss. Danny was shocked but soon started to kiss back. He couldn't lie, her lips felt amazing. When Bowsette broke the kiss, she cuddles close to him and spoke in her sleep. Marry me, Danny. I want you to rule with me. She said. Danny's face turns red. She was dreaming about him. Before could say anything, Bowsette held him closer and placed her head on his chest. I love you, Danny. Stay here with me. She said. Danny couldn't believe what he was hearing. He had to wake her up before she said something to embarrass herself. Bowsette, wake up. He said, shaking her. Bowsette groans and opens her eyes. It took her a few seconds before noticing that she was really close to Danny's chest. She even saw her tail wraps around him. She blushes and quickly lets go of him and backs away. If you tell anyone, she started to say. Don't worry, this will stay between us. Danny quickly said. Bowsette sighs and got out of bed. Danny notices her legs and quickly looks away. Bowsette notices and smirks. Oh, Danny. Yeah. Danny said, turning back to her, only see Bowsette waving her peach at him. Are you ready? She said as she gave him a cute look on her face. FFFF for www what? Danny shuddered. Bowsette turns back around and climbs on the bed towards him. Danny slightly leads back as Bowsette got close to his face and smiles. I must say that our bath time together yesterday was amazing. Maybe we should do it again. She said cutely. Danny's face turns red as Bowsette presses her melons on his chest. Danny tries to answer but couldn't get the words to appear out of his mouth. Bowsette smirks before pulling away. But first, let's get some breakfast. I'm in the mood for some bacon and eggs. She said, standing up. With a sly smile, she waves her peach as she walks past him, and could see a lump form in his pants. Danny notices and turns away. The two sat at the table and Danny was given some clothes from one of the royal guards as his old ones were taken to get washed. Bowsette was back in her dress and had Danny sit next to her this time. So after our bath, what do you want to do? She asked, secretly looking forward to their special time. I was wondering if I could head to the castle library. I don't know much about this kingdom and I would like to learn about it. Danny said, trying to keep himself calm. Very well, you are a guest here. Feel free to use the library for as long as you need. She said. Thanks, Danny said and continues to eat. Bowsette smiles and looks at him. For a hero, he's very cute. Maybe, I can have fun with him before he goes home. She thought. Once they were in the bath, they started to have sex again. Even though she was teasing him earlier, she really did enjoy what happened yesterday, and from what she could tell, so did Danny. Bowsette as Danny move in and out of her. He couldn't hold back the minute he and Bowsette were left alone. She had her hands on the edge of the tub as Danny was standing up and started to move in her. Danny kept going until he leaks in her, making let out a low cry before partly collapsing as they both try to catch their breath. Once they were done, they clean up and got out of the tub. After getting dressed, Danny walks to the library and started to read some books. He learns a lot about the kingdom. Turns out the Koopa Kingdom has been around long before the USA was found. The exact date was unknown, but the first rule was King Muchi mean Koopa. He wasn't a great Koopa and treat his people poorly. Finally, they had enough and revolt against him and overthrown him. His son, Prince Kamal Koopa, took the throne and proven to be a better ruler than his father. He read through and learned that many rulers were king. But it appears that Bowsette was the first princess. Danny? Bowsette said, making him look up. It time for lunch. She told him. Danny blinks and looks out the window and saw the sun was high in the sky. Wow, I must have lost track of time, Danny said, closing the book. Come along, Bowsette said. Near the docks. Sam reached the docks and was trying to find a boat to get back to the castle. She couldn't believe that Danny would agree to stay there. She also couldn't believe that Tucker said she was like her parents. I'm not my parents. I will never be my parents. Sam thought. She kept looking for a boat before she felt someone touch her shoulder. She turns around and saw Rachel. Ms. Wiccan? She asked, shocked. Hello, Ms. Mansion. What brings you to the dock today? Rachel asked. I'm just getting some sea air. I take the time to come to the docks and enjoy the open sea. Sam quickly said. Rachel smiles, she knew what Sam was really doing. And here I thought you were Mr. Fenton's friend. You seem really interested in bringing him back now instead of waiting. She said. Sam was shocked that she figures out her plan, but remember what she did to Danny. Says the teacher that kiss a student. She said. Rachel smiles and thought back to the kiss she had. She looks down at Sam before getting close to her. Sam couldn't help back to take a step back as her smile gave off a very creepy feeling and not like the way her parents would smile. Don't worry about that. Come, I'm sure your parents want you home by now. She said. Sam got ready to run, but her arm was grabbed. Before she could cry out for help, she felt something cover her mouth and nose and made her faint. Rachel held on to the girl and kept smiling. There you go, sleep it off. Let's take you home. She said, and carrying Sam to her car. That little bee. She trying to take Danny all for herself. She the one that refuses to admit she likes him. Well, no matter, once Danny Fenton comes home he'll be in my arms and no one would take him or bug him ever again. Not even that princess. Rachel's true thoughts were. Back at the castle. Bowsette sat at her throne as she let Danny head back to the library. It has only been a day and she already felt close to him. She wasn't in love, she knew that, but there was something about him that she couldn't shake. He had the same star power as her and he was strong. Not to mention the town continues to treat him like a villain, and cheering because he was going to be gone for a week, really made her blood boil. She recalls her father telling her that her mother also told him to look at both sides of the coin. Bowsette knew Danny was a hero and everything that happened was him trying to keep his home safe. For a time that what he was seen as. But that new mayor, Mayor Masters, started to blame the attacks on him for no reason, destroying his hard work. She was snap out of her thoughts as the doors were knocked on. Come in. She said. Excuse me, princess, but there is something we need to talk about, Kamek said as he walks up to her. What is it now, Kamek? Bowsette said. It about our new guest, Kamek said. What about Danny? She asked. I know it only been a day, but you two are already close. Some of the kingdom is talking about how he going to be the next king. Kamek said. That's none of your business. He a guest and that all. I'm ruling alone. I'll pick a king when I want to. Bowsette told him. Kamek blinks and sighs. Princess, I hear that you are sharing baths with him. Why are you? Kamek started to ask before he was covered in fire. When it faded, he was covered in soot and cough up some black smoke. That is none of your business. Bowsette shouted while blushing a bit. Princess, as your caretaker, Kamek started to say before she reaches over and grabs him. I'll say this again, it's none of your business. I'm going to be queen one day. I know you are watching out for me, Kamek, but I'm growing up. I can make my own choices now. So drop the matter before I really lose it. She said and drop him. Kamek sighs and stood up. He uses his magic to clean himself and looks at her. Fine, if that what you wish, then I won't say anything else on the matter. But princess, he's only here for a week. You have a choice of telling him or not. Kamek said and left the room. Bowsette growls before taking a breath. She was only being his friend. There are moments in the bathroom where there's alone. Bowsette turns to the picture next to her and picks it up. She looks at her before sighing. I don't love him. But at the same time, I can't help but to feel sorry for him. I'm only trying to be his friend, that's all. She said before setting down, showing it was the picture of her parents that was taken when she was born. The first few days started out okay. There were ghost attacks, but none of them were too big. However, the people quickly distrust the GIW due to the fact they mostly hunt phantom and don't bother with the other ghosts. The Fentons were a bit better, though Maddie was more like than Jack, and the Red Huntress was almost the top hunter they trust. However, Valerie felt that her job was too easy. No ghost gave her a challenge and she couldn't bring herself to destroy those kinds. She was flying through the sky on the third day looking over the town. Never thought I said this, but I wish that Ghost Boy was still here. She said. Valerie continues to fly before stopping as his scanner started to pick up something. She quickly tries to find the location and pins it to the school. Valerie knew that the school was one of the hotspots for a ghost attack and it was summer, why would anyone attack there? She headed for the school and found the ghost. Oh great, this guy again. She groaned seeing that was the box ghost. Ha! Since the Ghost Boy is not around to save you all, you will now face the terror of the box ghost. He laughs. If there one thing about everyone knew who this lame ghost was and how not scary he is. Valerie hunted him once and now understands why dannyphantom is more annoyed with him than anything. She raises her arm and it put out a thermos and she caught him with ease. Beware! He shouted as Valerie sighs. Things were much better when the Ghost Boy was here, Valerie said. So the rumors are true. The Ghost Boy left the town. Valerie turns and saw a black ghost. She arms her blasters, knowing this one was a bigger threat. Hold it, ghost. She said. Oh, don't bother, my dear. I just came to see if what was said was true. Spectra said. What? Valerie asked. A few ghosts heard that dannyphantom is staying out of town for the week. Some of us think it sounds too good to be true. So we came to check. Spectra said. Valerie looks at her and Spectra just smirks. Look at you, all that gear and you still think you're better than everyone. She said. I'm not better than anyone other than ghosts. Valerie said. Trust me, child. Out of all the people I have help, you need it more than you know, Spectra said. And what's that? Valerie asked. Easy, you still think that ghosts are evil. You still think ghosts should be destroyed. And all that anger is diction to one ghost, dannyphantom. Spectra said. He ruins my life. I'll make him pay for that. Valerie said. So you say. Tell me, my dear, if you truly believe that all ghosts are evil, what would you do if someone you know became a ghost? Would you hunt them down? Spectra asked her. What? Valerie asked. Oh, that rich, you never thought about it. Some ghosts were once human. Take your father for one, if he suddenly dies and became a ghost, would you think he's evil? Spectra smirks. Valerie didn't know what to say. She never thought about it. If her father did become a ghost and she did hunt him, then she'll be hunting someone that she cares and loves. If she destroys her father's ghosts, then she is getting rid of the one thing she has of her family. Spectra smirked and absorbed the misery from her. One last thing, dear. Most of our attacks were not by the orders of dannyphantom. We attacked the town for our own reasons. All he does is stop us. He's a hero and that's all he is. Spectra said. No, he's not. Valerie shouted. Are you sure about that? Through the past few days, everyone acting like the ghost attacks had just stopped. They think it never going to return. I'm here to warn you. In a few days' time, we plan to show this town what we can really do. And since Phantom isn't here, we won't be stopped easily. Spectra said. Valerie blinks and tries to raise her blasters but couldn't. She tries to say. Believe it or not, some of us respect Phantom. He the reason that some ghosts don't even bother attacking or just doing what they can to help. Tell me, my dear, do you have respect for him? Spectra said and disappear. Valerie floated there on her hoverboard. Try as she might, those words won't leave her head. Rachel enters her house and set down her food before undressing into her underwear. She turns to a mirror and saw her long black hair and blue eyes. She might be 28, but she was very appealing. She walks up to the mirror and smiles. She kept her body like this for years. Her mother told her that she should look her best for the man she wanted. She looks at her BRST and started to squeeze them a bit. These are growling just fine. No milk yet. She said before touching her PP. Oh. Nice and soft. Ready for him to take. She added. She started to check her body more and nodded. She turns away and walks into her room. She could picture Danny laying on her bed, waiting for her for some fun. She opens her closet that had nothing but her underwear. She grabs a BR and panties and looks them over. Let's see, which one would he like? She said to herself. She turns and pulls out another one. Those were designed with dannyphantom colors and had the logo on the right side of the BR. Maybe once we date. She said before pulling out another set. These ones were pink and had red hearts on them. Oh. Perfect for when he comes home. She said and set them down. She pulls out one more pair and smiles. Oh yes. These will really get him to love me. She said. They were designed with black and white rings and was her favorite. She took off her plain BR and panties and threw them in the basket. She started to reach for her new ones before stopping. Maybe I can walk around naked for the day. After all, I better make sure he's used to seeing a naked woman. She said before putting the bras and panties away. She then walks back into her living room and sat down and turned on the TV. She knew that there were few more days until Danny comes home and then he'll be all hers. Oh, Danny. I hope you're ready. Because I'm not going to let you go this time. She said before laying back and picturing him having SEC with her. Sam sat in her room. After Ms. Wiccan brought her back. Her parents ground her and as part of her punishment, all her goth things were replaced with the things her parents wanted. She'll get them back when she gets over Danny. Sam tried to tell them about Ms. Wiccan but they didn't listen. Sam tried not to scream or destroy anything that her parents put in her room. She still recalls what Ms. Wiccan told her before she took her back here. 2 days earlier. Sam groans as she woke up in a chair and looks around. "Where am I?" she asked. "Oh good, you're awake." Sam turns and saw Rachel step up in her underwear, surprising Sam. "Ms. Wiccan?" she asked. "Welcome to my home, Ms. Mansion, and soon to be the home of someone else," she said. "Why did you bring me here?" Sam asked. "I wanted to talk before I took you back to your house," Rachel said. "About?" Sam had a feeling about what she wanted to talk about. "Mr. Fenton. I know he left the town in means of keeping us safe. He's a very brave boy," Rachel said. "Wait, you know?" Sam asked, shocked. "That Danny Fenton is dannyphantom?" "Yes, I place it together easily. He goes out of his way to save this town and people still treat him as if he's to blame. Not me, I can tell he trying, and not everyone is pleased with what he does," Rachel said. "But I am. And I want him to know that," she added, smiling. "And how are you going to do that?" "By forcing him to stay with you?" Sam asked angrily. "Oh, Ms. Mansion, you still jealous about other girls liking him?" "Sweetie, that's not healthy," Rachel said and pat Sam's cheek. "1, I'm not jealous. And 2, Danny is half your age. He would never agree to be with you," Sam shouted. "Tisk, tsk, tsk, spoken like a true jealous girl. I'm sorry to say this, Ms. Mansion, but you had your chance. It's time for someone else to have him," Rachel said before turning around. "Like you? An old hag like you don't deserve Danny. He will never like you," Sam started to say before Rachel slams her hands on the chair arms and gave off a look that could kill. "Listen here, you little bee. This your fault. You should have made a move a long time ago. You lost it and will never get it back. I don't plan on letting him go for anyone," Rachel shouted before turning away and getting a lovesick look on her face. "Once we are together, we'll happily together as a family. Then we have so many children with my looks and his braveness. We'll live together until the day we die. It's just so romantic," she said happily. "You're sick," Sam shouted. "Oh no, I'm not sick. I'm in love. And Danny will be all mine. And there's nothing you can do to stop me," Rachel said. "I'll tell his parents. I'll tell everyone. You won't have him," Sam shouted. Rachel turns around and slaps Sam. Sam was shocked and Rachel looks as if she did something horrible. "Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't know what came over me," she said before checking Sam's cheek. Sam just stood there. This teacher was really mess up. She opens to her mouth to talk, but Rachel stops her. No, I hit harder than I meant to. I might have dislocated your jaw. It better that you don't speak," Rachel said before getting in Sam's face. "And one last thing. He's mine. Not yours or that princess. If you know what best, you stay out of my way," Rachel said, growling. Today. Sam couldn't believe it. She would have called the police or Tucker, but her parents took her phone as well. If Sam had to pick between Bowsette and Ms. Wiccan, she let Danny go to, it would be Bowsette. True, she tries to take over the town, but at least she wasn't a crazy woman that was after Danny and threatened others to stay away. Bowsette's castle. Danny and Bowsette sat at the table, having lunch. For the past few days, he couldn't help but wonder if the town was doing okay. Comic reports stated that the town was still standing, and while there have been some ghost attacks, the hunters deal with it easily. Danny had guessed that the bigger threats didn't know he was gone yet. He did smile to hear that GIW was not trusted one bit. His parents were doing all right and Valerie was doing a good job so far. Danny? Bowsette said, breaking him from his thoughts. Yeah. He asked. Are you up for a game? She asked. What kind of game? Danny asked her. Well, my father got me a game called Twister on my 5th birthday. I never had a chance to play it. She said. Sure, Danny said. Danny follows her to her room and Bowsette pulls out the game. She set it up and Danny remembers something else. Don't we need someone to tell us where to place our hands and feet? Danny asked. I got it cover. She said and pick up the spinner. She closes her eyes and Danny watch as it glows. It stops and Bowsette looks at him. I use my star power to have the spinner spin. Every minute. Once I spin it, it will move on its own. She told him. Okay then, would you like to go first? Danny asked her. Bowsette smiles and flicks the spinner. It stops and Bowsette walks over and places her right hand on the red dot. Danny saw the spinner move again and place his left hand on a blue dot. As the two kept playing, the spots became harder to reach and Danny found his face in between Bowsette's BRST a few times. Bowsette also found herself over Danny a few times. They were trying to keep themselves under control and just stare at each other. Danny couldn't help but notice how pretty she looked. Those blue eyes were as appealing as the blue sea. Her blonde hair shine like the sun. Bowsette looks back at Danny and notices how calm his blue eyes were. His raven black hair looks messy but it really shows how handsome he was. The spinners spin again, but neither of them moves. The game was forgotten as the two kissed each other and fell to the ground but not breaking it. They did break after another minute and just stare at each other. Bowsette, Danny started to say before she places a finger on his mouth. Shoo, let's just enjoy this. She said and they kiss again. Danny awoke and saw that he was in Bowsette's bed again. He turns to the sleeping princess and sighs. For someone that wants to rule the world, she sure doesn't act like a tyrant. Maybe this is a side of her that no one knows. Danny thought. He looks down and saw Bowsette's tail wrap around once again. He could also feel his ghost powers again. He turns his waist intangible and slips out. Just as he turns it back to normal, he was grabbed and yanked back in the bed. Bowsette, Danny sighs. She must be really clingy in her sleep. Still, he had to admit, she was pretty. He only had 3 days left and he might as well enjoy it when he can. Bowsette, wake up please, Danny said. Bowsette groans and pulls herself closer to him. Danny shook his head and then smiles. Your tail is on fire. He said. Bowsette's eyes snap open and started to check her tail. She stops at the sound of roaring laughter and turns to see that Danny was laughing so hard he fell out of the bed. That's not funny. She growls, having already known that he was a bit of a jokester. Well, you were a bit clingy when you sleep. I needed something to get you to let go. Danny said. Bowsette sighs and thought about what happened yesterday. They started to play Twister then kiss and they must have gotten into her bed and pass out. Hey, Bowsette. I need to make a confession. Danny said. Yes, she said. We only have known each other for 4 days, 5 if you count the day you attack Amity Park, but during this whole time, I couldn't help but notice that you really don't give off the feeling of a bad guy. More like you're alone and want someone to be with. And during my time here I notice a lot of things that you do to make sure I'm happy. What I'm trying to say is, I like you, not as a princess but as a person. Danny said. Bowsette's eyes widen and she blushes. As much as she wanted to deny it, she couldn't. She always thought her horns and tail would scare people off and no one would like her. I have a confession to make too. She said. Ever since I brought you here, you have shown me that kind of guy you are. You funny, kind, and all around a great guy. Truthful, I don't understand why most people treat you like you're some kind of freak. I think it's time we stop beating around the bush. Danny, would you like to be my boyfriend? she said. This time it was Danny's turn to blush. Sure, I don't mind, he said, rubbing the back of his head. Bowsette smiles and walks up to Danny. The two then share a kiss before breaking it after a few seconds. I never said this before, but I really do like your kisses, Bowsette, Danny said. As do I, she said, and they kiss again. After breaking, Bowsette walks up to her closest and turns back. Let's keep this between ourselves. I don't need the castle guards hounding me all the time, she said. Yeah, I got the same problem with paparazzi back home, Danny said. Bowsette got dressed and the two head to the dining room for their breakfast. After eating, they head to the bath and got in. Danny was started to get used to sharing a bath with her, and they even sat next to each other. Bowsette really likes the warmth of his body. She was just about to reach down and grab his pee-pee before remembering something. Danny, how did you meet your teacher? Ms. Wiccan? She asked. Huh, why? Danny asked. You told me on the first day you stay here that she was a teacher that did her job and make sure the other teachers did. You also said that she has a thing for you, though you're half her age, she said. Danny sighs. He always thought it was strange whenever Ms. Wiccan gave him a really friendly look and how she always wanted him to be close to her. Well, I don't know when she started to like me as you do, but I still remember the first day that we meet, Danny said as he thought back. 1 month earlier. Danny made to class just as the late bell rings and saw Mr. Lancer standing there. Well, Mr. Fenton. You made it on time. Take your set, he said, and Danny did. All right, class, I have something to tell you before you begin. We have a new teacher joining us today. I ask that give her a warm welcome and treat her fairly. You can come in now, Mr. Lancer said. Everyone watches as a 28-year-old step in, and many guys felt their breath being taken, even Danny. She had long black hair that reaches her back and calm blue eyes that shines like sapphire. In fact, she almost looks like one of those supermodels that some rich guys have. Hello, my name is Rachel Wiccan. And don't worry, I'm not wicked, she said. Danny blinks at his new teacher's last name. Plus she just did a pun with it. I'll leave the class to you, Mr. Lancer said, and hurry out of the room. The class went on normally, and the new teacher was actually doing her job well. She talks about the problems in ways they could understand, and even help a few students with their problems. Though, many boys blush when the super hot teacher got close to them. Danny was actually getting his work done since Ms. Wiccan didn't try to put him to sleep like Mr. Lancer and the ghosts do. Mr. Fenton, right? Danny looks up and blushes at the sight of his teacher standing next to him. Why yes, Danny confirms for her. Nice to meet you. Is there anything you need help with? She asked him. No, I got it. Thank you, he said. Are you sure? At least let me take a look, she said before bending over close. Danny's face turns red as he saw that his teacher's melons were close to his face. He tries not to stare at them and looks at the paper. He hears her HM and stood up. I see, you are smart. Good, but if you ever need help, let me know, she said, smiling. SSSS sure. Thanks. Danny shuddered. After the class was done, Danny opens his locker to place a few books inside before he was grab and slam on the lockers by Dash. What do you want now, Dash? Danny said annoyingly. We saw what happened in class. The new hot teacher got close to you than anyone else, Dash said. And? Danny asked, wondering why he was talking about that. And you are going to stay away from her? Dash shouted. Really, Dash? You're half her age. It's against the law for a student to be in a relationship with a teacher, Danny told him. Is that so? Well then, let's see how much she like you with a black eye, Dash said and pulled his fist back. It was suddenly grabbed and Dash turns to see Ms. Wiccan behind him. Mr. Baxter. Release Mr. Fenton at once. She shouted. Both Danny and Dash were shocked to see the angry look on her face. Dash let Danny go and walks away. Danny stood up and turns to the new teacher. Thanks. He said. It's no problem, Mr. Fenton. Are you hurt? She said, then asked. No, I usually get away from Dash or he just stuffs me in the locker, Danny said, sighing. Have you told anyone? Ms. Wiccan asked him. It doesn't matter, Dash is a member of the A-listers. All things he does is far too important to take notices of the bad things he does. Danny said. Really? That sounds like a horrible reason to let him continue this. Ms. Wiccan said. It doesn't matter. None of the teachers would bother if I told them. Danny said and walked away, not seeing the frown on the teacher's face. The rest of the day passed and Danny was in his last class. Mr. Lancer was once again going over the lesson before he heard a knock on the door. Come in. He said and Ms. Wiccan steps in. Forgive me Mr. Lancer, but there is something I really need to talk to you about and it can't wait. She said. Very well, perhaps we should, Mr. Lancer started to say but Ms. Wiccan cut him off. No, this is something your students need to hear. She said. Mr. Lancer looks at her and sighs. Very well. He said. Now, Mr. Lancer. I understand that A-listers are very important to the school. Some of their parents help pay for the school, right? Ms. Wiccan said. Yes. He said, wondering where she was going with this. Do they pay you to turn a blind eye on what their children do to the other students? Ms. Wiccan asked. What do you mean? Mr. Lancer asked. Mr. Lancer, earlier today I saw Mr. Baxter pin Mr. Fenton on the lockers and looks as if he was about to punch him. I step in and stop but I was told that the school turns a blind eye on his and the A-listers' actions. Something that the school shouldn't be doing. She said. Ms. Wiccan, I know you're a new teacher but, Mr. Lancer started to say before he was cut off. But nothing. Before I was a teacher, before I even looked the way I do now, I too was bullied by others. All my teachers ignored me when I tried to tell me. I then discover that they were being paid to turn a blind eye. I expose them and the school never turns a blind eye again. Tell me, if the A-listers' money is that great, then why are you teaching here? She told him. Mr. Lancer took a step back, not sure how to answer that. Ms. Wiccan then turns to the class and took a breath. None of the A-listers has the right to get away with what they've been doing. I expose my school and I will do it again with this one. If the teachers do not do their jobs then they will be in more trouble than the students. Tell your parents or tell a police officer. If no one listens, then spread the word to others. The whole world is your ears. Don't stay silent, no one can't stop you. She said. Mr. Lancer. My lunch money was stolen from me by the A-listers. One student said, raising his hand. Mr. Lancer. Paulina says that I was ugly and belong in the trash. Another student said, raising her hand. Soon all the students that were picked on raising their hands, saying the things that the A-listers did to them. Danny looks around and raises his hand. He then notices Ms. Wiccan smiling at him but couldn't help but to think there was something different about it. Today. Danny sat back as Bowsette was surprised. It was clear that she started out nice. As he said, he didn't know when she started to fall to him but it was clear he liked her as a teacher, nothing else. It wasn't until after your attack that she made a move on me. Saying I was the one she wanted. Danny told her. Bowsette sighs. Danny was smart enough to know that trying to be in a relationship with a teacher was a bad thing. So what do you plan on doing with her? She asked. I don't know. I never thought about it. He said. Bowsette looks at him and pulls him in a kiss. Danny blinks when they broke. I know you would be able to come up with something. Remember, you have not just your ghost powers but your star power as well. If there any problem that you need help with, call me. I'll come to help you, no matter what. She said. Danny blinks and smiles. Thanks, Bowsette. He said. You're welcome. Now, let's do our special time. It's been a while. She said and started to rub his pee again. Bowsette, ain't you worry about becoming pregnant? He asked. Trust me, my star power protects me from things I don't want. So you can F me all you want. I'll never have a child unless I want to. She said. I think you need to tell me more about this star power since I have it too, Danny asked. I'll teach you what I know. After our bath. She said before sitting on Danny's lap with his member inside her pee. Danny sighs and started to move. Rachel walks towards her living room and thought about the time she first met Danny. The minute she saw him, she knew he was the one. Those blue eyes, that raven black hair, they were so much like hers. And his looks, yes, he was a bit skinny but she could see some muscle under that fame. And when she saw how he did his work, she could tell how smart he really was. Everything she was told about him was wrong. Dannyphantom. Oh. I can't wait for you to come home. Safe in my arms, with no one to take you from me. Well, I have to let him go to stop the ghosts. After all, this town is standing because of him. She said. Rachel sat down and sighs lovely. Danny was going to be all hers. No one would take him from her. It was noon the next day and Danny was trying to tap into his star power with Bowsette and Comic watching over him. Are you sure it wise to teach him about that power, princess? Comic asked. His star power is just as powerful as mine. If he doesn't learn how to control it, it will be bad for him and everyone else. Bowsette said. I don't know, princess, sounds risky with his ghost powers, Comic said. Bowsette rolls her eyes and looks at her secret boyfriend. She knew there were many things about the star power that was still a mystery. She knew she barely scratches the surface of her own star power. Still, the sooner Danny learns to master what he has, the easier it would at least be with him learning as much as she did. She saw that Danny tap into his star power, due to her telling him. She walks down into the area and stood in front of him. Okay Danny, I'm going to see how well you can sense my star power. I want you to feel your star power and see if you find mine. She said. Danny breathed slowly and could feel his star power. It was something that he never felt before. He didn't notice before but now he could feel something burning inside him. Not enough to hurt him but as a means to show he had a lot more power than he thought. He then tries to focus on the same power from Bowsette. He closes his eyes and focuses. He didn't have any luck for a few minutes before picking up something. It was small but as he homes in on it, it became bigger and easier to read. He could felt it. It was Bowsette's star power. Looks like I got a long way to go, Danny said. Bowsette smiles and focuses on Danny's star power. She easily found his star power and was surprised at the amount that was in him. He might just tap into it but the amount was the same as hers. Nice job. Now to have you learn to weaponize it. She said making Danny look up. Weaponize it? He asked. Yes, it would be wise to learn how you can use it to fight and defend yourself. You can't rely on your ghost powers forever. She brought up. Okay then, but you only know how used it for magic and breathing fire. Danny pointed out. True, but this will give me a chance to learn about my star power as well, Bowsette said. Danny could only nod before Bowsette started to explain what she learned so far as Comic watched them. Princess, it's clear to me that you like him. More than a friend. I'm happy that you finally found someone to be with. He thought before leaving them alone. Back at Amity Park, Valerie panted as she caught her third ghost. The black ghost wasn't lying, there was a bigger attack and she was started to get tired. The Fentons arrive earlier to give her a hand, but even they couldn't hold back the ghosts for long. Valerie lands on the ground and tries to catch her breath, which was easier than the ghosts. "Are you okay, sweetie?" Maddie asked. "Yeah, just need to get my second wind," she said before standing up. "Heads up." Jack shouted and fired his Fenton bazooka at a ghost that was hovering over them. "Thanks, Jack." Maddie smiles. "I hate to say it but I really wish dannyphantom was here to help us," Valerie said. Jack and Maddie look at each other and knew what she meant. While they were hoping to get answers when Danny returned home, they too wished their son was around to deal with these ghosts. Jazz shows them a list of ghosts that Danny had fought over the year and why they attacked the town. They decide to follow what their son did, catch the ghosts and return them back to their home. "So, Baby Pop is really gone, huh?" They turn and saw Ember, Skulker, and a few other ghosts that he fought over the year. "Well, this isn't good. My prey is not even on his hunting grounds." Skulker whined. "And where is he?" another ghost asked. "With some princess." "What was her name again?" Bowsette. Jack said. "Bowsette?" the ghosts shouted. "She was here." a ghost asked. "But why?" another one asked. "To take over this town, but the ghost kids stop her and she challenged to a rematch. It ended in a draw and he has to stay there for a week." Jack answer. "Jack sweetie, I love you but will you please shut up," Maddie said to him. "So she came at last," Skulker said. "Huh?" Valerie asked. Princess Bowsette Koopa is one of the few princess left in this world. She also the last of her people. She must have two reasons to come here. Either to find a husband or take over the town. Skulker said. The second option is more likely thanks to what he said. Ember pointed out. "Well, the whelp is not here to stop us, how about we have some fun?" Skulker smirks. "I'm game," Ember said, and the ghosts faced the three. What no one knew, is that hidden in an alley, was Koopa Troopa, a guard that was tasked to watch over the town and how it would be without Danny there. Thanks to Kamek's magic, it was able to go around unseen by the people and ghosts. He turns and quickly writes a report. Danny and Bowsette fist hit each other, causing the room to shake a bit. Danny stepped back and shook his hand. Bowsette was having him fight in his human form as part of getting used to using his star power. Bowsette watched as Danny summons a bit of magic to heal his hand. She was about to help him unlock a bit of magic but only wished to use the healing ability. Because his ghost's powers do most of the healing, he wants to learn a few healing abilities to help cover his injuries quicker. "I see you are getting the hang of your magic," she said. "Yeah. You know, if you told me last week that I will be learning how to use magic, I would laugh and said you're crazy," Danny told her. "Really? You believe in ghosts but don't think magic exists?" Bowsette smirks. "I had some proof of magic." "You're not the first magic girl I meet." Danny smirks back. "Really, maybe I can give her a few pointers as well," Bowsette said, walking up to him. "Careful, she is known to double-edge her abilities," Danny said as Bowsette wraps her arms around his shoulders. "Is that so?" she asked as Danny wraps his arms around her waist. "Yeah," Danny answered, then they share a kiss. They were broken from it when they heard the doors slam up. Quickly acting like they was just taken a small break from training, Bowsette turns to see who rushes in. "Princess, the spy in Amity Park has just sent a report. The town is under attack from an army of ghosts and the ghost hunters are being overwhelmed," the guard said. Bowsette looks back at Danny, who was worried. The week wasn't up yet but she knew that Danny would want to head back and save it now. "Prepare my airship. We are heading out to Amity Park," she ordered. "Yes, Princess," the guard said and rushes out. "Bowsette?" Danny asked. "I know you want to go back now and save the town. I might as well come. I do have a few things to say to the town." Bowsette said. Danny blinks and nods. Jack threw away his bazooka after he ran out of ammo and pulled out the Fenton peeler and active the armor to give him a better chance at fighting. He faced Skulker, who was impressed with him. I must say, I think I know where the whelp got his game face from. You really are his father, he said. As long as he's stopping you from hurting anyone, I'm proud of my boy. Jack shouted and charged at him. Maddie was facing Ember, using her ecto-sticks, the lightsaber-like weapon, and blocking her attacks. Got to say, I always did wonder where Baby Pop got his fighting spirit from. Now I know. Ember said. Say what you want. I'm proud of what my baby boy been doing, Maddie said before pushing her back. Valerie fired some of her weapons that knocked Ghosts back, but one got behind her and knocked her down. It floated over her and roared before it was knocked away by an ecto beam. She turns and saw Tucker and Sam rushing up to her while using their own ghost weapons to knock other ghosts away. Are you okay? Tucker asked when they reached her. Yeah, but what are you doing here? Valerie asked. Hey, this is our home too, Sam told her. Sam, chill out, Tucker said, still not happy with her attitude. Well, even with you two helping us, I don't think it's going to be enough, Valerie said, pointed at the army. The ghosts looked down at them and got ready to attack them. Fire. Suddenly loud booms were heard and the ghosts were caught by surprise by a few cannonballs that exploded. Everyone looks up to see an airship float over them. Airship theme, whichever you like. Bowsette was standing over the bow and looks down at the town. Some of the ghosts were shocked to see her. People of Amity Park. I brought someone that could help you fight back, she said. Everyone watches as Danny steps out on the bow, in his ghost form. When the army saw him, half of them book it. Valerie, Tucker, Sam, and the Fentons all sighs and smiles. Danny flew down and landing between the army and his friends and family. Many ghosts stood ready, but Danny just sighs. Leave, he told them. Everyone was shocked to hear him say that. Just because I'm not here doesn't mean you can attack this town, Danny said. Oh really? And what makes you think we are going to leave because you say so? Ember asked. Trust me, Ember, I don't want to fight any of you right now. I got my own life to deal with, Danny told him. Sorry whelp, but we're not leaving, Skulker said as the ghosts stood ready. Danny also got ready, as did his friends and family. Bowsette jumps off her airship and joins them. What are you doing? Sam asked her. Helping, Bowsette answers her. Many ghosts flinch at the sight of Bowsette, but they still stood their ground. It wasn't long before her army steps up and stood ready as well. And what good are they going to do? Sam asked. Sam, enough, Danny told her. Sam looked surprised before Danny looked back at her. They are here to help, Bowsette already made sure that they are ghost proof. We got more important things to worry about, he said before facing the ghost army again. Valerie shook her head. She couldn't believe that Sam was letting her jealously get the best of her again. While she not fully sure about Bowsette herself, it's clear that she was here to help. At your command, Princess, a troop said. Danny? Bowsette asked him. Danny nodded and Bowsette turns to the troop, who also nodded. Men, arm yourself. Time to put our training into use, he shouted. For the Koopa Kingdom. The reveille of cheers was heard. Soon the two armies charge at each other and clash. Danny faces Skulker and dodges his sword before firing his ectoblast that knocks him away. Bowsette faces Ember and used her long nails to break the strings on her guitar. Hey! Do you know how long it takes to repair those? Ember shouted. Not much, none than me scratching up your face. Bowsette smirks. Danny and Bowsette stood as the ghost army started to retreat. Danny sighs before turning to see his parents. They both look at the ground and Danny could tell. Mom, Dad. It's okay. I'm not mad at you two. He said, walking up to them. It's just, we wish you would have told us sooner, Maddie said sadly. But I guess we never gave you a chance, huh? Jack added. No, but I don't blame you. Yeah, you guys go overboard, but I know you at least still care. Being gone for 5 days really gave me a lot of time to think. Danny said. Bowsette steps up and Danny looks at her. Mom, Dad, this is Bowsette. She has been taking care of me since I agreed to stay at the castle. Danny told them. Jack and Maddie look at her. Besides the horns and tail, they could see that she was a sweet girl inside. Maddie walks over and hugs her, catching Bowsette by surprise. Thank you for taking care of my son. She said. Bowsette blinks. The way she was hugging her, it felt like how her mother hugs her once before her passing. Bowsette sighs and hugs her back. You're welcome. She said. Jack steps up and hugs her well, and Bowsette could also felt her father hugging her. Danny smiles before turning to his friends. Hey, dude, Tucker said smiling. Good to see you, Tuck. Danny smiles back. The two share a fist bump before Danny turns to Sam. Sam looks away, but Danny walks up to her and hugs her. Sam was shocked but hugged back. After they broke, Danny turned to Valerie, who wasn't arming her weapons at him. Hey. He said. Hey. She said back. Thanks for watching over the town and for not destroying the ghosts, Danny said. Well, things really haven't been easy since you left, and I had a lot of time to think about why you show up. She said. Danny smiles, but it faded when he started to hear some angry cries and turns to see that some of the town people march up to him demanding him to leave. So, you think I planned that attack? Danny asked, crossing his arm. You did plan that attack? A town person yelled. No, he didn't. Bowsette shouted as she stomps in front of them. Army stood behind her, stopping the town people from trying to attack her. In case you've forgotten, he has been staying with me. And I never let him out of my sight. He had no involvement in the attack. Most of the ghosts don't even like him. She shouted. How do you know? He's a ghost. Another person yelled. He's a hero. And heroes don't go around planning attacks to earn your trust. For the longest time, he did. But you fools fell for every lie that was fed to you. When I heard how happy you all were when you heard he was going to stay gone, I couldn't believe how heartless you all are. Even before I heard of this town, I heard of dannyphantom and everything he has done for you. I could tell right away that he was a hero. But you all treat him as if he was the villain. When I first came here, I wanted to take over the town. We did not meet beforehand and plan the attack. And just now we fought back a ghost army and you immediately blame him without looking at what he did. Bowsette shouted as flames appear out of the corner of her mouth. The town people took a step back, but one bravely or foolish took a step forward. And what do you know about him? He nothing more than a ghost that wants to rule, he stared to say before he jumps back when a fireball hit the ground in front of him. Bowsette growls and then roars, causing the people to become afraid of her. I'm Princess Bowsette Koopa. And I know dannyphantom better than you do. She shouted. Everyone looks at Danny and he sighs. He looks at his family and friends before stepping up next to Bowsette. Because a week is not yet over, I'll be going back to the castle. But if I'm still treated like this, then fine. I won't return, I won't come back to save this town again. I'll let you deal with the ghost attacks. Then we'll see how you feel about blaming me for something I never did. Danny yelled. Jack and Maddie look at each other. This was their fault. They were the ones that said all ghosts were evil. They then step up and stood next to Danny. We were wrong, Jack said. Not all ghosts are evil. We let our ways blind us to the truth. Maddie said. Soon Tucker and Sam step up. And Danny would haven't gotten this far with our help, Tucker said. We know him, we know who he is, Sam added. Valerie steps up next and soon Danny's fans all broke from the crowd and stood with them. Danny looks around and saw this was the 1% that still thinks of him as a hero. Danny smiles and faces the town people again. Ask yourself this. How does the mayor know about the ghost's attacks and why he blames me? I'm not always there to stop them in time. I even heard about the time that Sam, Jazz, and Maddie Man that so cool fought off 3 ghosts without any signs of me being around. Danny told them. The town people look away and knew he had some points. Soon Danny nodded at Bowsette and she turns back to her army. Treat the wounded back on the airship. We are heading home. She told them. A few minutes later. Danny stood in front of his family and friends saying his goodbyes face to face this time. Are you sure you can't stay home now? Jazz asked. When she heard that Danny was back she wanted to wait until he came home but when she heard he was leaving again, she rushes over to meet him. Sorry, Jazz. But the deal is still intact. But it only for 2 more days. What's wrong? Aren't you happy to be an only child? Danny teased. Jazz rolls her eyes and hugs him. Danny smiles and hugs her back. She let go and hugs his parents next. Stay safe, Danny. Maddie smiles. Yeah, and good luck with you-know-who. Jack winks. Danny blushes as he knew his dad was talking about Bowsette. He didn't know but they were already together. Tucker walks up and fist bumps him. It was really good to see you again, Tucker said. Same here. Keep the town safe when I'm gone. Danny said then asked. Tucker's smile as Sam steps up. Do you really need to leave? Sam asked. The town doesn't understand that I'm their best bet on saving it. Mom, Dad, and Valerie are doing their best but they could use the help. Danny told her. Sam nods and hugs Danny. Valerie couldn't stay because her father wanted her home but she did give a quick hug and welcome him back before flying off. Danny looks at the airship and saw that it was ready to take off. He turns back to his family and friends and smiles. Take care of yourself. He said and ran towards the airship. Bowsette looks down and saw his family and friends watch the ship take to the sky and leave the town. She enters the ship and sat down in her room. She hears a knock and Danny steps in. How are you feeling? She asked him. Better, now that I got to see them again. Still can't believe the town blames me for the attacks. He said. Bowsette sighs before patting the spot next to her. Danny sat down and Bowsette leaned on him. I'm sure they will see their mistake. Just remember you're welcome back to the castle at any time. She said. I know. Thanks, Bowsette. Danny said. Danny opens his eyes to see that he was in Bowsette's bed again. He looks down to see her tail wrap around him and she was snuggling close to him. Danny sighs and just lays there, letting Bowsette wake up on her own. He looks at her and then smiles. Yeah, I love her. He thought. He really did. But it was his last day here. After this, he had to head back home. He decides to make this best day for Bowsette. He turns and felt her move. Danny smiles and hugs her. So, when did you wake up? He asked. Just a few minutes before you did. She said smiling. Bowsette, for my last day here I want to make it special for you. I'll do whatever you want. He said. Thank you but let's make this great for both of us. She said and started to think about what she could do for Danny. Well, how about we get some breakfast first, Danny said. Bowsette nodded and they changed to clean clothes. They ate breakfast and Bowsette starts to think about what she could do to make Danny's last day here memorable. She then remembers how her mother sometimes made her cake and she would love it. Maybe she could do the same. Danny's also wanted to make Bowsette's day memorable as well. But he wasn't sure about what to do. He thought maybe a gift could work, but he had no idea what to get her. The two spend most of their time on their ideas, they didn't even take notices of each other when they share a bath. It was only later that Danny went to find Kamek and Bowsette went to the kitchen. Bowsette was wearing a white apron and had everything out to make a cake. There was one problem, she had no idea how to make one. But she was going to try. She recalls some things her mother did and follow that. She remembers to add the cake mix, eggs, and milk, but everything else was hard. Still, she kept trying. Many of her cooks offered to help, but she wanted to do it herself. Danny was talking to Kamek and he listens to Danny's idea. Kamek told him that Bowsette loves a lot of things, but the one thing she loves overall was something that shows a person really cares for her. Danny started to think before coming up with an idea. He thanks Kamek and started to rush down the hall. Danny reaches his guest room and found a few things that he could use. He also found some color paper and got to work. I really hope Bowsette likes this, he thought. After 5 tries, Bowsette was handed a cookbook and was able to make a cake. She tries to decorate it in chocolate and white frosting with Danny's logo on top. She made a huge mess but smiles. I hope Danny likes this, she thought. It was a few hours later that the two met back up. Without thinking, they shared a kiss and started to walk hand in hand. It was their last day together and they wanted to spend it as much as possible together. Bowsette, thanks, he said. Bowsette blinks and looks at him confused. For helping me feel as I belong somewhere. I might return home tomorrow, but at least I can come back here any time, right? Danny said, then asked. Yes, it's a little sad that you're leaving, but you got a family waiting for you. I have no right to keep them away from you. Bowsette said, a bit sad. Bowsette, how about we make our special time more special tonight? Danny asked. How so? She smirks. Danny smirks back and whispers into her ear. Bowsette blushes heavily at Danny's idea, but her smirk remains. Now that a very naughty idea, she said. Danny just smirks back before they to Bowsette's room. The two spend the next 10 minutes making out before heading to the dining room for lunch. Bowsette wanted to wait for her cake and the two just sat down. Bowsette then wanted to try something she never thought of before. Hey, Danny. Can I try something? She asked him. Sure, Danny said. Bowsette took her fork and took a piece of Danny's food and held it up. Danny quickly realizes what she was trying to do and opens his mouth. She places it and Danny chews. Then he did the same. After lunch, the walks around the castle again and once again returned to Bowsette's room and made out for some time. After they were done, they walk around some more and Ever went to Bowsette's secret spot for some alone time. Danny and Bowsette were laying on the ground looking up at the sky. Bowsette leads on Danny with his arm around her. She really loves him and was almost wanted to ask him to stay forever but knew better. Danny saw her as a person, not a monster that she fears most would see her as. He didn't mind her horns or tail and he saw that she was more than a princess. She reaches up and took off her crown and set it aside. Bowsette? He asked. As of now, I'm not the princess of beauty and terror. I'm not Princess Bowsette. I'm Bowsette Koopa, your girlfriend. She said. Danny just smiles and held her close. Dinner time roll around and the two sat at the table and ate. As they did, Kamek was standing by the door and signs. It clear, they are in love with each other. The princess wants him to stay but is going to let him go to make him happy. He thought and knew he had to talk to her later. After they finished, Bowsette went to the kitchen to grab her cake. While she did that, Danny turns into his ghost form and flew to his guest room and grabbed his surprise and made it back just as Bowsette walks back in with her back facing him. Tada! She said and spin around to show him her cake. Danny was surprised to find it covered in chocolate and white frosting and had his ghost form logo on top. Did you make that? He asked her. About 5 times. She said sheepishly. She set the cake down and cut a piece off. She hands it to Danny. Danny grabs a fork and took a bite. Bowsette waited to hear his thoughts. Danny started to chew slowly and Bowsette was started to grow worried. Danny shallows and looks at her. Well, it good. He said making her smile. But, he added making her look at him. What? She asked. There's too much chocolate and I could barely taste the cake. It good for you 6th try but you need to cut back on the chocolate a bit. Danny said truthfully. Bowsette sighs, at least he didn't hate it. Danny then reaches behind him and hands her a card. What's this? She asked. Something to remind you of our time together. He said. She opens it and was shocked to see that the card was decorated red and black. She saw her family logo as well as Danny's. In the middle was a picture that was taken on the day they became boyfriend and girlfriend. Below it was a message. To my appealing princess, Bowsette. Even with those horns and tail, you're still the girl I love. Bowsette could felt her eyes water and Danny smiles. He walks up and hugs her. She hugs back and sniffs. Thank you. She said. After calming down a bit. They saw it was time for their bath and their special time. Danny and Bowsette were in the tub and Danny was thirsting her as hard as he could. Bowsette bit the bottom of her lip to keep herself from screaming out. Danny's idea was for them to go nuts until they couldn't take it anymore. She also had to let Danny do whatever he wants with her. Right now, she was sitting on his lap with his member inside her pages. He was also playing with her melons as she After doing that for a few minutes, he pushes her to her hands and knees and move harder. Oh. Yes. More. I want more. She shouted. What did I tell you? He said stopping. Forgive me, Mstr. I lost control of myself. She said. Another part of their special time, Bowsette had to act as his SECSLV until they finish. Danny nodded and started to move in her again. Bowsette as Danny leads on her and got close to her face. She turns and kisses him as Danny kept flirting. Soon Danny couldn't hold back and leaks. He pulls out and lays back. Bowsette lays next to him and sighs. That was amazing. She said. Yeah, I guess we got carried away. He said. Bowsette started to say but stops. What is it? He asked. It's nothing. I'm just going to miss you when you leave. She said. Me too. Danny smiles. After their bath, they headed towards her room to sleep together one last time. Before reaching there, Kamek steps up. Princess, we need to talk. He said. Go on ahead, Danny. I'll catch up. She told him. Danny nods and leaves the princess with her caretaker. What is it? Bowsette asked Kamek. Princess, it became clear to me that you want him to stay. You want him to be with you for the rest of your life. He said. Bowsette sighs, she does want him to stay but she wasn't going to keep him away from his loved ones. I can't make him. He has people to return to. What kind of princess would I be if I made him stay here, away from his family and friends? She said. Princess, you're a Koopa. Your family has always been about getting what you want. And you want Danny. Kamek said. Yes, I do. But I need to be different. Danny loves for me for who I am and I love him for the same reason. Bowsette said. Kamek sighs and shook his head. Princess, it's true he's heading home but if you do this then what happens to wanting to rule over everything? Kamek asked. Bowsette sighs. She really has changed. Ever since Danny came here and learned about how his life was treated, she couldn't stand it. Still, he was someone that likes her for who she was. And she was going to keep that trust and love. I already have everything. She said, walking around Kamek. Kamek sighs and knew what she meant. The other kingdoms weren't going to like this. Danny sat on Bowsette's bed in his PJ that the guards gave him to use. It wasn't long before Bowsette sat down as well, wearing her PJs, which was her princess dress with the long skirt off. She leads close to Danny and they share another kiss. After a bit, they got in the bed and Bowsette turns her light off. She looks at Danny, who looks at her back. Bowsette? He said. Yeah. She said back. One more time? He asked. Yes. She said. The two sat up and started to undress themselves. They were in their underwear and started to kiss each other again. Bowsette pushed Danny down on the bed and sat on top of his lap again. She reaches down and softly kisses his chest in different spots. Danny remained still before Bowsette started to move down to his boxers. She saw the bump and started to play with it with her hand. After a few minutes, she pulls down his boxers and saw his long member. She wraps her hand around it and started to jerk it. Danny as he tries to deal with Bowsette's hand, making him feel good. She then stops and started to kiss it. She started near his ball and work her way up. She kisses the tip before giving him a cute smile before opening her mouth and put it in. Danny flinches as he felt Bowsette's tongue lick the tip before twirling around. After she was done, she started to move up and down, eating on it. Danny tries to keep himself still as Bowsette started to After a bit, she pulls her mouth out and starts to lick it. Bowsette, that feels so good. He said. She stops and sat up. That's good to know. She said and took off her BR. Danny saw her BRST and reaches up and grabs them. Bowsette as Danny play with them. She then leans down and Danny started to SCK on her right NPL. She remains still as Danny eats on her BRST. She didn't have any BRST milk, but the feeling was great. Danny finally stops and Bowsette looks down on him. Time for the next step. He asked her. Yes, and this time. Don't stop at all. She said before pulling off her panties. She helps Danny take off her boxers, before rubbing her PP on his pages. They both before she raises herself a bit and places his PP near her PP and push down. She slips in with ease and started to move up and down. They both again as Bowsette started to move faster. Danny grabs her peach and started to trust as she did him. The feeling was so great, they both leaked at the same time. Danny then rolls around with Bowsette on the bed and him on top. With a nod from Bowsette, Danny started to move her again. Bowsette wraps her arms and legs around him as she Oh yes, F me. She said. Yes, princess, Danny said and moved faster. Bowsette louder before Danny pulls her in a kiss. Her quite down as Danny kept thirsting. He then broke the kiss and looks into her eyes. Danny just F. Do it. Leak in me until I'm filled with your juices. She told him. Danny then moved as hard as he could and Bowsette couldn't stop her cries. Danny started to feel the familiar build-up and knew what that meant. He was lucky that Bowsette's star power kept her safe and knew not to hold back. With one last powerful move, Bowsette screams in joy as Danny leaks in her. She could feel the hot juices enter her WMB and filling her up. She started to overflow and it leaks out. Both of them panted as Danny fell on top of her. Oh, and I thought our bath time was special, Bowsette said, trying to get her breath back. I can't believe how amazing that felt, Danny said, almost breathless. And don't worry, our star power knows we are not ready to be parents. So I won't have your child, at least not yet. She told him. Danny looks at her but smiles. He sat up and placed her legs on his shoulders. You said to keep going until I fill you up. So, I'm going to do just that. He said. Good, because I'm far from full. Now, F me with all your might. Bowsette said, and Danny started to move again. So alright folks, that's all for today. Stay tuned for part 3. Do subscribe, like and share for more such videos. Also check out the story and author Phantom Fan 21 on FANFICTIONnet. Press the bell icon to be notified first on release. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye.